Okay. Angles of 60 degrees and 30 degrees. These are the two angles which their sum is equal to 90 degrees, means they are complementary. So based on this triangle we have two triangle which is a right angled triangles which has two angles are perpendicular to each others. So triangle ACD, triangle ABD are triangle which is right angled triangles. They have three sides. On each sides they have the meaning. On hypotenuse sides, hypotenuse is equal to 2 units, and the adjacent side is equal to 1 centimeter, and opposite side is equal to square root of 2. That is about the sides of these triangles. So to determine the angle of 60 and 30 degrees, we need to use a trigonometric ratio, cosine and sine and tangents, where we have its values on these sides. We know that sine theta is equal to opposite side over hypotenuse, and sine theta is equal to adjacent side over hypotenuse. That is what we have seen in last unit, in last lessons, where we check about how can we get cosine theta and how can we get sine theta and tangent thetas. So to get these angles, you need to use the sides of triangles to get the angle inside the triangles. So sine of 60 degrees should be equal to opposite side over hypotenuse, where hypotenuse is equal to 2 and opposite side is square root of 3, means that sine of 60 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 3 over 2. Then sine 30 is equal to 1 over 2, where 1 it is adjacent sides, 2 it is opposite hypotenuse sides. Then cos of 60 degrees should be equal to 1 over 2, where 1 is adjacent side, 2 is opposite is hypotenuse sides. Cos of 30 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 2, where square root of 3 it is the adjacent sides of the triangles. Then 2 it is hypotenuse. Tan of 60 degrees is equal to square root of 3, where we have tan is equal to sine over cosine. Then we have sine of 60 and cosine 60. Then we have a square root of 3 over 2 and over 1 over 2. Then you multiply the fractions, the second fraction as reciprocal of the second fractions, then you get the square root of 3 as tan of 60 degrees. So means that tan of 60 degrees is equal to square root of 3. Then tan of 30 degrees is equal to 1 over square root of 3. By rationalize, you get square root of 3 over 3 as tan of 30 degrees. With the help of above tables, we can complete the table below. Then you can, assuming that its sides, its angle has its corresponding sign, corresponding values in real numbers. So when you have 0 degrees, sine theta should be equal to 0, cos theta should be equal to 1, and tan theta should be equal to 0 when you have a 0 degrees. If our triangle is measured 0 degrees, you mean the sine theta should be equal to 0, but cos theta should be equal 1 and tan theta should be equal 0s. What about our angle is 30 degrees? When we have angles of 30 degrees, sine theta should be equal 1 over 2. As we have seen, sine theta should be equal to 1 over 2 when we have an angle of 30 degrees. Then cos theta should be equal to square root of 3 over 2 when we have angle of 30 degrees, cos theta should have a 30 square root of 3 over 2 degrees. Then next, when we have 45 degrees, sin theta should be cos square root of 2 over 2, and cos theta should be square root of 2 over 2. That is all about angle of 45 degrees. Sin theta and cos theta should be equal, should be the same, square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 2 over 2. Then about angle of 60 degrees, we know that sin theta of angle 60 degrees should be equal to square root of 3 over 2, and cos theta should be equal to 1 over 2 on angle of 60 degrees. Good. What about 90 degrees? When you have 90 degrees, angle of 90 degrees, sin theta should be equal to 1, but cos theta should be equal to 0. That is all about trigonometric ratio, sin theta and cos theta. What about tan? When you have angle of 0 degrees, tan theta of 0 degrees should be equal to 0. We mean sin 0 over 1, it is 0, because tan theta should be equal to sin theta over cos theta, and we know that sin theta of 0 degrees, when of angle of 0 degrees, it should be equal to 0, but cos theta of 0 degrees should be equal to 1. So tan theta is equal to sin theta over cos theta. Then 0 over 1 is equal to 0. So tan theta of angle of 0 degrees is equal to 0. Then what about our theta is equal to 30 degrees? Then tan of 30 degrees should be equal to square root of 3 over 3. That is because when we have angle of sin 30 degrees over cos 30 degrees, then we have 1 over 2 time divided by square root of 3 over 2, then by division properties of fractions, 1 over 2 times 2 over 3, then you get simplification, then you remain with 3 square root of 1 over square root of 2 times 1. Then then you get square root of 3 over 3. That is tan theta of 30 degrees. What about tan theta of 45 degrees? Or we mean tan of 45 degrees. Tan of 45 degrees, just because cosine theta on 45 degrees and cosine theta should be equal to 45, should be the same. As it becomes the same, then tan theta should be equal to 1. Tan of 60 degrees. If theta is 60 degrees, then tan theta should be equal to square root of 3. We mean that square root of 3 over 2 as a sine of theta, then cosine theta should be equal to 1 over 2. Then you divide, then you remain with square root of 3. But on 90 degrees, we can't get tan theta because 1 over 0, it is infinity. It is impossible because there is no value, there is no meaning. Any number divided by 0, it is impossible. That is all about angle of 60 degrees and 30 degrees. As we see in summary, angle of 60 degrees and 30 degrees is measured in right angled triangles. So to determine its values, we use each side to get the angle of theta, which is the angle of trigonometric triangle. Then you get its values with the help of sides of that triangle. So thank you.